I would request our Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. R.K. Gupta and Chancellor's nominee Shri Suresh Gupta ji to felicitate our Chief Guest Professor Dr. B.S. Ghumman. I request Director PCJ School of Management Professor Dr. A.K. Vashisht to felicitate our Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. R.K. Gupta. I request Professor Dr. Dharamveer to felicitate Chancellor's nominee Shri Suresh Gupta ji. Now, beginning with the proceedings of the session, I would like to invite Dr. Vinay Chamoli to welcome our respected guests and address all of us about this workshop.
Thank you, Ayushi ma'am. Respected Chief Guest of the day, Professor B.S. Ghumman, former Vice Chancellor, Punjabi University, and a fountain of knowledge. Professor R.K. Gupta, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Maharaja Agrasen University, and the patron of the workshop. Shri Suresh Gupta, sir, Project Director and Technical Advisor of the workshop. Professor A.K. Vashisht, Dean Research and Convener of the event. Professor Yogendra Singh, Registrar of the University. Professor Dharamveer, Coordinator IQAC. Dr. Pankaj Nangalia, Deputy Registrar and Co-Convener of the workshop. Members of the organizing team, Directors of various schools, fellow colleagues and dear participants, good morning and a warm welcome to all of you. Over the years, it has been found that the quality of research output has been far from the much needed standards. A research work must act as a catalyst for further researches to be undertaken in the said field. The quality of research depends on the understanding of the research problem, and the output is significantly based in the appropriate research tools used for the data collection and its analysis. The wide variety of disciplines and the diversity of their nature make the identification and implementation of a research method both complex and problematic, and therefore calls for training and knowledge adaptation. The research quality can be enhanced through the adoption of appropriate research methodology by the scientists and researchers. It calls for adoption and application of rigorous research methodology in the higher education. In this backdrop, Maharaja Agrasen University took the initiative to organize 8th National Workshop on Research Methodology and Data Analysis, and invited eminent speakers and research scholars in all streams and all the aspiring researchers to participate and deliberate upon the contemporarily relevant issues. The major objective of this one-week workshop is to sensitize and erudite the participants about the various research methodologies to be adopted and the appropriate statistical tools and package to be used in their research works, and for the further interpretation of the results obtained from such analysis, thereby helping the present as well as future researchers to evolve an understanding of the research tools and statistical packages that meet both the current and future needs. So I urge the participants to extract as much as they can from this workshop and spark the change among them. Happy learning to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for motivating all of us. Now, I would like to request the most distinguished personality, who is an excellent orator, a man with a kind heart and plethora of knowledge, Dean Research and Director PCJ School of Management, Professor Dr. A.K. Vashisht, to come forward and address the gathering.
Good morning. Honorable Chief Guest of this event, inaugural function of research methodology, Professor B.S. Human. He is an eminent academician, accomplished researcher, and very, very efficient administrator. And above all, to Dr. A.K. Vishisht, Professor Ghumman is the elder brother. In fact, whenever I say to him, I find my elder brother in him. In fact, he has a lot of affection for me, and in turn, I've got a lot of respect for him. In fact, I'm not going to make it a family affair. In fact, because I'm talking about brother and younger brother and elder brother. In fact, it's a workshop on research methodology, and Professor Ghumman has contributed to the field of research very efficiently. I do recall his association with this Canadian Institute of Sastric Canadian Interaction. So under that particular heading, he has been inviting the foreign speakers, foreign researchers to Punjab universities and going abroad many times. So as far as the research in Department of Public Administration in Punjab University is concerned, I think a major contribution has come from Professor B.S. Ghumman. So I take this opportunity to say a good welcome to Professor Ghumman, and I wish that I would be listening to him in this particular seminar once again in my life. Professor R.K. Gupta, the Vice Chancellor of the University, all we know that he is spearheading this university very, very effectively and efficiently, and under his guidance we are organizing many kind of seminars and conferences. And I'm sure that this workshop is going to be successful under his guidance. We have with us Professor Shri Suresh Gupta ji, Chancellor's nominee. In fact, he is always known for his leadership qualities, giving direction to this particular university, both in academic as well as the social service. Friends, as far as this workshop is concerned, the objective of this workshop is to chisel the skills of the researchers to become good researchers. And in fact, as far as the research is concerned, this requires some kind of training, some kind of attitudinal change, some kind of orientation which is required. And this can come by way of attending this kind of workshops. In fact, as far as the contents of this workshop are concerned, this is A to Z of research. We would be talking about what is research, we would be talking about what is the purpose of research, discussing how research should be carried out, and we would be discussing how we are going to use appropriate research tools and come out with right kind of effective. So if you are a researcher, you have to have some kind of a social responsibility. So you know that if you are doing some kind of a research, it has to be relevant, it has to be meaningful. I always say that research always has two sides. One is positive side, other is the normative side. And as far as the two sides are concerned, normative side is more important. Unless you come out with some kind of relationships which are socially meaningful, your research doesn't have any kind of a meaning or value. So research should have value to the society. At the end of any kind of a research, it is always written that what are its behavioral implications, what are its policy implications, how the findings of the research can be used for making new policies for coming out, policies which could add value to the society. Friends, as far as research is concerned, so you have to be very, very passionate. You need to know how research should be carried out. You need to know how the research should be interpreted. So this can be known only by way of some kind of interaction between those who have done good research and those who are learning research. And through this particular platform, it is our endeavor that the researchers, they get an access to the plethora of speakers who would be speaking on different aspects of the research. I'm sure that after attending this workshop, the researchers should be able to carry out their research process very, very effectively. At Maharaja Agrasen University, we mean business, we mean quality. In fact, research process has to be very, very rigorous. So if research process has to be very rigorous, you need to learn how to carry out research. And I am sure that after attending this workshop, you would be able to have all those skills which are necessary for carrying out good research. With these words, I say I wish that this workshop is success and extend a welcome to the researchers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspirational words and motivating all of us. Now, I take a privilege to introduce you to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. R.K. Gupta, who has always lit the spark of knowledge and inspired all of us through his wisdom. I request you, sir, to grace the occasion with your words of wisdom.
Good morning, friends. I welcome Professor B.S. Gumman, the former Vice Chancellor, Punjabi University, Patiala, ex-Chairman, Department of Public Administration, Member of Senate, Syndicate, Punjabi University, and whatever the seminars or conferences were organized in the Punjabi University, and we were together in almost all the conferences. He was looking after, you can say, seminar part. I was looking after finance and other activities in the organization of the Punjab University. And we have long association in the campus for different activities. Shri Suresh Gupta ji, our Chancellor's nominee, Professor A.K. Vashisht, Director, PCJ School of Management and Dean Research, Dr. Pankaj Naglia and our Dharamveer, all other directors, faculty members, students and participants on this inaugural of this research methodology workshop. I congratulate the team members of Maharaja Agrasen University who have taken initiative to conduct this 8th one-week national workshop on research methodology and data analysis. Sir, I just want to inform you that since the beginning of the university, the research methodology workshop is organized every year successfully. And without any break, this workshop is conducted every year. The purpose of this workshop is to give an exposure to the scholars on contemporary approaches and innovations in multidisciplinary research covering both quantitative and qualitative data. As per New Education Policy 2020, the workshop is emphasizing on multidisciplinary research. Keeping this objective, this research methodology workshop is specifically focused on multidisciplinary research, which is a unique attempt to mainstream research across disciplines like law, engineering, basic and applied sciences, pharmacy, etc., that intertwine the spirit of different disciplines in the pursuit of finding solutions to varied human problems. The present information age facilitates the collection of data, but the main challenge lies in making the data meaningful and purposeful. A scholar who is well versed with research methods and techniques could create new knowledge, innovative practices, and paradigm which would be more beneficial for the society. Research methodology provides the scientific basis to analyze problems logically and contextualize the findings. In any field of research, a progressive methodology is mainly used for theoretical analysis of methods applied in the field of study. I hope that this workshop will give an exposure to the scholars on contemporary approach and innovations in multidisciplinary research covering both quantitative and qualitative data. I once again congratulate the whole team members for organizing this workshop. I hope all the participants will learn a lot on this platform, which will be very beneficial in their future life. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspirational words and all the unending support that we have always received from you. Now, I would request a man of virtue and simplicity who has always guided us towards the right path, Chancellor's nominee, Shri Suresh Gupta ji, to come forward and address the gathering.
हमारे आज के चीफ गेस्ट प्रोफेसर घुमन जी, ये घुमन जी जितना इनका फेमस नाम है, खासकर आपके एकेडमिक सर्कल के अंदर बहुत बड़ा नाम है, और इनका कंट्रीब्यूशन एकेडमिक्स में, समाज में हमेशा के लिए बना रहेगा। इतना इनके इतने रिसर्च में इतने एक्सपर्ट हैं, और जो आज इनको सिलेक्ट किया गया है बहुत ही बढ़िया तरीके से, हमारे जितने आज रिसर्च स्कॉलर अटेंड कर रहे हैं, ऑफलाइन ऑनलाइन जितने भी हैं, उन सब को बहुत ही बेनिफिट इसका रहने वाला है। और बहुत ही सुलझे हुए एकेडमिशियन हैं। हमारे वाइस चांसलर प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर R.K. गुप्ता जी, जो हमेशा इस धुन में लगे रहते हैं कि कौन कौन से जेम कहीं से भी, मतलब पूरे हिंदुस्तान में कहीं से भी हों, उनको छांट छांट करके यहाँ उनको इनवाइट करते रहते हैं, ताकि हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को, रिसर्च स्कॉलर्स को, फैकल्टी मेंबर्स को उन सब चीज़ों से बेनिफिट मिले। केवल और केवल नाम के लिए किसी को नहीं बुला के लाते, वो इनवाइट नहीं करते, जिसकी एक्चुअल वर्थ होती है उसी को करते हैं। और बड़ा टाइम खर्च होता है आने वाले हमारे गेस्ट का भी, हमारे जो रिसर्च स्कॉलर्स आज कनेक्टेड हैं उन सब का भी बहुत वैल्यूएबल टाइम रहता है। मेरी तो एक ही एडवाइस है अपने रिसर्च स्कॉलर्स को कि वो ये जो हमारी 7 डे 8 डे जो भी ये वर्कशॉप होने जा रही है, इसको बड़े गहराई से इसके अंदर अपना पार्टिसिपेशन रखें, ताकि उनको लाइफ के अंदर हमेशा ये चीज़ें काम आएंगी। कभी भी कहीं भी आप अपग्रेड करेंगे, अपनी जॉब को अपग्रेड करेंगे, अपने कोई एकेडमिक सिस्टम को अपग्रेड करेंगे, ये सब चीज़ें काम आने वाली हैं। हमारे जो आज के इसके हमारे डीन रिसर्च A.K. वशिष्ठ जी बड़े सुलझे हुए एकेडमिशियन हैं, और पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी में इनका अपना जितना टेन्योर रहा है बहुत ही हाई प्रोफाइल रहे हैं। हमारे डॉक्टर धर्मवीर जी, पंकज नांगलिया जी, हमारे डायरेक्टर्स यहाँ आज जितने भी प्रेजेंट हैं, इन सब के माध्यम से मैं ये मैसेज ज़रूर दे रहा हूँ अपने रिसर्च स्कॉलर्स को कि वो इसको जो टेन्योर है, इसको खाली टाइम को वेस्ट नहीं करना, खाली ये नहीं देखना कि मुझे डॉक्टर लग जाए, मुझे डिग्री मिल जाए। वो हमेशा लाइफ के अंदर काम आने वाली चीज़ है उसके अंदर। और जो रिसर्चर होता है वो ऑलवेज रिसर्चर रहता है, वो चाहे ऑफलाइन हो, ऑनलाइन हो, चाहे वो एकेडमिशियन हो, उसका ब्रेन हमेशा उस डायरेक्शन के अंदर काम करता रहता है। मेरा तो यही रिक्वेस्ट है, जितने भी रिसर्च स्कॉलर हमारे बहुत ही बढ़िया हमने सेलेक्ट किए हुए हैं, जिनको एडमिशन मिला है रिसर्च के लिए, वो सब के सब उम्मीद है अपने मिशन में कामयाब होंगे। और इन्हीं शुभकामनाओं के साथ हमारी जितनी भी टीम इस प्रोजेक्ट में लगी हुई है, ये वर्कशॉप के अंदर जो पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं, जो डिलीवर कर रहे हैं, उन सब को मैं हृदय की गहराइयों से बधाई देता हूँ। और ये सबको बेनिफिशियल होगा। एक एडवाइस और है, वो जितने भी रिसर्च स्कॉलर्स हैं, जितने भी हमारे सुपरवाइजर्स हैं बनेंगे या है, वो रिसर्च के जो पब्लिकेशन है उसके ऊपर बहुत ही ज़्यादा ध्यान देने की ज़रूरत है कि हमारे रिसर्च स्कॉलर का जो उसने रिसर्च अपनी लिखा है जो भी, उसमें कोई ये ना हो कि वो पीछे रह जाए, उसका नाम हमेशा नंबर 1 पे रहना चाहिए। रिसर्च स्कॉलर का उस आर्टिकल के अंदर नंबर 1 पे नाम रहना चाहिए। और अच्छे से देख करके महाराजा अग्रसेन यूनिवर्सिटी का भी नाम जुड़े, हमारे सुपरवाइजर्स को भी उसमें मान सम्मान पूरा मिले। ये इस चीज़ का बहुत ख्याल रखना है। इतने चीटिंग के जर्नल्स बन रहे हैं आज हिंदुस्तान में, वर्ल्ड ओवर, ट्रैप नहीं होना किसी में। आपकी आर्टिकल भी चली जाएगी, आपकी मेहनत भी चली जाएगी और आपके किसी काम नहीं आएगी। इस चीज़ के ऊपर अच्छे से 4 बार सोच विचार करके तब अपने आर्टिकल को कहीं भेजना है, अदरवाइज वो उसी को बेच खाते हैं लोग। मैंने ये देखा है, मैं अभी पिछले दिनों बहुत देखा है, आर्टिकल को दे देते हैं, वो उसी को बेच खा जाते हैं और आप देखते रहते हैं, आपको उसका बेनिफिट भी नहीं मिलता। ये चीज़ें आपको ध्यान रखनी है। थैंक यू। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
Thank you so much, sir, for your guidance and kind words. Professor B.S. Ghumman is a forward-looking senior educational administrator. He is former Vice Chancellor at Punjabi University, Patiala. He is MA, MPhil and PhD in Economics. He is a member of Punjab Finance Commission and also chairing the Punjab School Education Policy Draft Committee. Earlier, he was a member of 5th Pay Commission, Punjab. Professor Ghumman has a teaching experience of more than 40 years to his credit. Professor Ghumman has a deep understanding of university administration ranging from policy matters to day-to-day functioning. Professor Ghumman has published 73 papers and 3 books. He has co-edited a book on higher education titled Higher Education in India, The Changing Scenario. He has guided 17 PhD theses and 17 MPhil dissertations. He has completed 6 national as well as international research projects. We are obliged to have such a renowned person among us. I request you, sir, to come forward and address the gathering with the words of wisdom.
Dear Professor R.K. Gupta ji, Vice Chancellor Maharaja Agrasen University, Shri Suresh Gupta ji, Chancellor's nominee, Professor A.K. Vashist, Dean Research, Dr. B.R. Bansal ji, SBC, Professor Tanveer, Director IQAC, dear faculty members and participants. I feel honored to deliver inaugural address on National Workshop, Research Methodology and Data Analysis. I express my sincere thanks to Professor R.K. Gupta ji, Vice Chancellor, for inviting me to deliver this address. When I came to this university, I have come to this university for the first time. After entering the premises campus, its surroundings are so natural, academic centric, and I can conclude this is an island of excellence. I'm really delighted to visit your university and feel honored. Friends, it's the beginning of your workshop. My role is to raise major issues which you will deliberate upon during this workshop. Therefore, I will just touch upon the changing contours of research methodology, that how research methodology is changing over time. That is my job. What I will do, I will touch upon what is significant. I will try to complete within 30 minutes. This is my time limit. I will start with significance of research because it's a course on research methodology, and you should feel elevated that you are attending something which is meaningful. Then I will define research, types of research, status of research in university and colleges, making research relevant and better. I think Professor Bashist touched upon this point, that as and when we undertake research, it should be relevant and better in quality. This is an age of quality research. And then research methodology, a dynamic field and summary. This is the way I have organized my presentation. Now, so far significance of research is concerned, when we were in the colleges and universities, at that time, everything was revolving around teaching, that if I've done my work as a teacher, then my job is over. And research was, or still in colleges, a poor cousin of teaching, particularly in colleges. But to me, and to all of us sitting on the dais, teaching and research are complementary to each other, even to the faculty and students as well, participants in the workshop, that teaching and research are complementary to each other. Teaching and research are sister concern. Teaching and research are two sides of the same coin. We have to proceed like this. However, research, neglect of research adversely affect quality of teaching. With a view to improve quality of teaching, research should be promoted, and complementary relationship between these two should be developed. Research is a directly rewarding activity. I will touch upon only professional growth, that those who are teachers in this college, in this university as well as in other universities, their promotion from assistant professor to professor depends upon API scores in research. Therefore, if you want to promote yourself from assistant professor to professor, then research should be your first love in academics. If you are not having friendship with research, I think it will not be possible for you to grow professionally. And not only this, there are two more developments which have taken place recently. One is NAC, and as and when NAC will visit your university, then NAC would evaluate you on research basis as well. It evaluates a university and colleges on 7 yardsticks, and one of the yardstick is research. Therefore, if you are really good as an institution in research, you will get a better score. And another is ranking. This is an age of ranking of university and colleges. Am I audible? Okay. This is an age of ranking across the globe, and recently on 15th July, our NIF ranking 2022 was out. And in this NIF ranking, again, in all the rankings, research gets as much as 30 to 50% weightage. Therefore, if you are really interested to have a good score in ranking, you have to pay good quality attention to ranking. Professor Gupta referred to National Education Policy 2020. Only 2 highlights which are relevant to us are: one, BA degree will be of 2 types. One is 3 years, another is 4 years. If you are interested in BA and BSc, any bachelor's degree, then 4th year degree is with the research. Therefore, research in the National Education Policy starts from the student age itself, and hence research would play a pivotal role in education institution. And the second point of National Education Policy which is relevant to us is set National Research Foundation. That now funding is not a problem. Funding is not a problem. Funding was not a problem earlier as well. The only problem is how to design good quality research proposal, research project. Therefore, now Government of India will set up a special foundation known as National Research Foundation, NRF, to promote quality research. After having said this, let me spend 1 minute on defining research. According to a dictionary, a careful investigation or inquiry, especially through search for new facts, any branch of knowledge, new facts underlined. And technically speaking, research comprises defining and redefining problems, about which I will speak later on, formulating hypotheses, I will speak about it as well, suggested solutions, collecting, organizing and evaluating data, I will touch upon later on, making deductions and reaching conclusion, generalization to determine whether they fit to the formulation of hypothesis or not. In brief, research is a scientific endeavor, very important aspect, the scientific endeavor for making original, again highlight, original contribution to the existing body of knowledge. Repetitive work is not research. Research is only that facet of knowledge which adds to the existing body of knowledge. Now there are 3 types of research. One is basic research, another is applied research, another is evaluation research. Basic research is also known as theoretical research, pure research. There are a couple of names of basic, theoretical, pure, and fundamental research. These are the 4 names for the same. The purpose of the basic research is to that we are curious as human beings. We want to learn new things. We want to learn things which are not known to us. When we adventure into that area, that's the basic research. And the basic research also helps us to formulate theory, principles and laws with the help of which we can understand or explain natural phenomenon as well as social phenomenon. That's the purpose of basic research. And applied research is a research which is undertaken to solve a specific problem of society. I will come to COVID as an example later on, but applied research basically is geared towards solve a problem of society. It can be poverty, it can be a disease like COVID. Therefore, when we undertake research to solve a specific problem of society, then it is known as applied research. What's the evaluation research? Government introduces new programs, your university introduces a new program, this workshop itself is a new program. We want to evaluate whether this program was effective or not, whether this program was successful or not, whether a program was successful or not, whether a policy was successful or not. When we undertake that research, it becomes evaluation research. Let me come to, as an example, COVID vaccine. Now, when we were developing across the globe COVID vaccine, then the basic research, R&D in science, discipline and technology helped us to start work on COVID vaccine. COVID vaccine has not started in the laboratory straight away. Before going to development of COVID vaccine, a lot of work has been derived from basic theoretical pure research in science and technology discipline. Then COVID vaccine as a applied research was developed. Then evaluation efficacy, that to what extent that COVID vaccine is effective or not, we undertake evaluation research. Therefore, COVID research covers all three facets which are it's on. Okay, but it's not working. Otherwise clear hai? Is it clear? Okay. Okay. Now let us come to status of research. Only three highlights I will share because of paucity of time. One, that research in the university and colleges is applied rather than basic. We are not undertaking basic theoretical and pure research. Mostly we are undertaking applied research. It's very important highlight that research in a particular discipline does not relate it with other fields of specialization of the concerned discipline. If you are students of management, marketing research does not speak to research in financial management. Research in financial management does not speak to research in HR, human resource management. See, we are so isolated within management that we don't talk to each other. We are super specialized as a branch of knowledge in management. Same is the case in other disciplines. If you go to technology, engineering and law and so on and so forth. And second is that with other discipline also, when Professor Gupta was speaking about multidisciplinary research, we have no culture of multidisciplinary research. We work in isolation, silos. We work in silos. That I am super specialized in economic administration, then I am working only in economic administration and I damn care about other disciplines. Chemistry is an example, organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry and physical chemistry. They don't talk to each other. See, this is the problem of research. Research is a multidisciplinary, complex and non-linear phenomenon. And hence, we have to learn from each other. We have to recognize that economics is relevant, public administration is relevant, law is relevant, management is relevant, equally relevant, and science and technology. If we have that conception in mind, only then we can undertake good quality research. If I say that my subject is superior, it's excellent, then I'm mistaken, because my purpose is to understand the reality. My purpose is to understand society, and society cannot be understood in isolation. Therefore, we have to learn from each other. But tragedy is that we don't learn from each other. And another is that most of our PhD theses neither deal with significant issues nor are conducted in a scientific manner. Most of them are not published. Now, because of API, we have to spend money, give to the publisher to get it published. That's a tragedy. And relevance of research to the society, economy, polity, administration, industry is not widely acknowledged, at least in India. Now, if this is the scene, then what's the payout? Therefore, payout is making research relevant and quality-centric. At this juncture, I will prefer to raise two questions because we have participants on online as well. And for their consumption as well as for your consumption, I intend to raise two questions at this juncture. One, how to make research relevant to the society, market and industry. I think Professor Gupta raised this point as well as Professor Vishis raised this point, that we are undertaking research but nobody cares about us. Nobody asks that I have submitted my PhD thesis but there's no inquiry from anywhere, there's no question from anywhere. Nobody is interested in my PhD thesis. This is the first. And second is how to improve quality of research. These are the two basic questions which I will to cover within 20 minutes. So far, answer to the first question is concerned, answer lies to the first question in selecting a research problem after scanning the socio-economic environment. We don't care about it. We straightway select a problem and if possible, consulting the stakeholder of the research area problem, that if my research is to be consumed by the government, then government nominee should be sitting while I am defining my problem. If my research is to be consumed by the industry, then people from industry should be sitting along with me when I am defining the problem. That for whom I am working, if I am not consulting them at the time of defining a problem, then nobody will be interested in my problem. I think Professor Vashist and Professor Gupta know better than me the marketing concept and selling concept. Selling concept is that you have made a product and you want to sell it by pumping money in advertisement. Still the product is not sold. That's the case at Bizarre. Marketing concept is designing the product as per the choices of the market, then it will be automatically sold. Therefore, we should reach to the marketing stage in our thesis, in our research, that I should undertake a problem which is required in the market. If I am doing so, required in the market, consulting the market. It's not my perception that is required in the market. I have to consult the market forces. If I have consulted the market forces, design the product, it will be automatically sold in the market. And how to make research relevant and quality-centric, then adoption of scientific research methodology is the answer to the second question, which we are going to address during this national workshop. Now, what are the steps in research? There are 8-9 steps in research. I will just touch upon and speak one or two sentences about each, then proceed further. The first problem is identification and formulation of research problem. Second is linking it with theoretical framework, reviewable literature and objective of the study. Let me spend 1 minute on each. See, identification and formulation research problem is very, very important, laying down foundation of your research, and we don't spend good quality time at this stage. You spend at least 1 year, 6 months to 1 year to identify and formulate research problem. Rest of the process is very smooth, quality-centric and satisfying. If you do it very quickly, then you regret throughout your life. It's just like Professor Gupta selecting life partner. If you select a life partner without caring, then throughout the life you will repent. But if you are, selecting your life partner by spending good quality time with him or her, understanding behavior, sensitivities, and then hyper nature, or you have tested from all angles, then you decide take the decision. I think your married life will be very comfortable, peaceful, and productive. Same is the case in case of formulating a research problem. Second is, see, I am giving this example so that it can go to your mind. Second is theoretical framework. That normally we don't link our problem with theory, we are mistaken. Right from day one, you are working in a branch of knowledge. That you are linked with a branch of knowledge. From day one, your problem should be grounded in the theory of that discipline. Meaning thereby, that in the beginning you should be good students of theory. I think Professor Gupta did refer to that theory is very important for research. Therefore, right from the, I know theory is philosophical, abstract. Uppar di langdi hai na. It's a theory. Jinni marji uppar di langdi, but stay with it. 10% समझ आ जाओ, 15 आ जाओ, लगे रहो. A time will come when it will become friendly to you. I mean, until and unless you make theoretical foundation friendly to you, you can't undertake a good quality research. Live लगनी चाहिए ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ. ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਮੀਰਾ ਦੀ ਲਿਵ ਲੱਗੀ ਸੀ ਉਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਮੀਰਾ ਦੀ ਲਿਵ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਥਿਊਰੀ ਨਾਲ ਲਿਵ ਲੱਗਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ. The day it reaches, I mean, nobody can stop you going up to the level of Vice Chancellor. Next is review literature. I mean, everybody does it, but everybody does not do it scientifically. Cut paste. ਉੱਥੋਂ ਚੁੱਕੋ ਕੈਂਚੀ ਬਣੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਪੇਸਟ ਬਣਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ, line. This is your approach. This is not review literature. 4 things are required. 1, subject matter. 2nd, methodology employed. 3rd, finding. And 4th one is most important, research gaps in the studies. Until and unless you identify the research gap, your study is not justified. See, normally, Professor Gupta, I gave an example of automobile engineer and Maruti 800. That if you are interested to improve model of Maruti 800, what's the role of an automobile engineer? Firstly, you will understand what is the 800 Maruti model. Until and unless he understands 800 Maruti model and finds deficiencies in it, he can't improve on the model. Same is the case with us. Our research is like Maruti 800 model. My job is to understand it and identify the gaps, defects. Only then I can make a good model in the market. Otherwise, it's a repetitive work. Nobody will care. This is review literature. Objective of the study, very interesting, Professor Gupta. Objective of the study we borrow from Osmania University. Title we borrow from Himachal Pradesh University, and we make it objective. This is not the case. See, objective of the study should flow from the title. If you are working on job satisfaction, then what are the parts of job satisfaction? Those components of job satisfaction are your objective. Therefore, write down objective and split into divisible units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When all 4 becomes your title again, your objective job is over. Therefore, objectives always form from the title, and sum total of the objective is your title. This is the way you should identify objectives. Now, next is hypothesis. Not understood properly in social sciences, including in management and engineering. Hypothesis is a technical job, should be understood properly. In layperson's language, hypothesis is a tentative answer to a research question. Each research revolves around finding answer to questions. Before going to the field, you just find a tentative answer to those research questions which are disturbing your mind. And those tentative answers are nothing but your hypothesis. When I was coming to Baddi University, I was having an image in my mind that Baddi University would be like this. But this university, when I reached, is totally different from the image I was building in my mind. It's an excellent university, different university. When I was coming to this place, then I was discussing Professor Vishesh that it's a different university, it's better than any other university. Therefore, my hypothesis has been rejected. But I was having a tentative ideas. Therefore, before going to the field, whatever tentative idea, if you say that in this workshop, girls may be outnumbering boys, but field will tell me whether or not. But therefore, hypothesis is a statement which establishes cause and effect relationship between dependent and independent variables. Agriculture production depends on rainfall. Dependent and independent. Job satisfaction depends on salary, promotion, and so on and so forth. Cause and effect relationship. Therefore, hypothesis should be testable so that you can measure both dependent and independent variables. Next is data processing, editing, coding, research design. There are 2 types of research design. One is experimental research design. We call it control group and experiment group and so on and so forth. That one group is exposed to the experiment, another group is not exposed to the experiment. Once the experiment is over, then we compare the scores of both the groups. If the experiment group scores better, then the experiment is successful. For example, this group is exposed to the workshop and this group is not exposed to the workshop. We will have your pre-workshop scores and post-workshop. If they know better than us so far, knowledge about research methodology is concerned, then research methodology is a successful course, otherwise it's not. Research design means a blueprint which guides the researcher how to collect, analyze and process data. I mean, you don't go to field without preparation. See, as and when you go to the field, when I was coming here, I made some preparation. But researcher makes more preparation. On a question of on a sample decide karna, everything, all those things are clubbed here at research design and so forth. And next is the data processing. When you come back, you edit the data, you code the data, classify the data. Data analysis, I think, will be major focus of your workshop, because the data analysis. When myself, Professor Gupta, Professor Visist, we were undertaking research, then there was an institution known as programmers, and programmers were writing program for us. And I worked on IBM 1620 computer. It was housed in 3 rooms. Now laptop and even this cell phone can help you. And we've started from that place. Therefore, they were writing programs, but we are very fortunate that you have a mega software like SPSS and other softwares. See, Professor Gupta, as and when I talk about SPSS, it's a mega software. जो कुछ भी तुसी करना है खिंची जाओ, man, you will get everything from SPSS, whatever imagination your mind. It's just like L&T Mall, है ना? You go to L&T Mall, you can take anything of your choice. Swere, you go in the morning, start with breakfast and come in the evening, have a show in the evening as well and do your shopping. Everything is available, same as SPSS. But where the role of the researcher? Role of the researcher is to select a relevant program. See, it's a shop. Like in L&T Mall, which shop you should visit and do the shopping, it depends on your theoretical knowledge, your applied knowledge. Therefore, SPSS is excellent program. You must make use of it. And it is at this stage we test hypothesis. We have 2 types of hypothesis: null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. Then I think maybe a lecture to test hypothesis, and finally report writing. And report writing is the final product, whatever you have done till now. If the final product when you are launching in the market is not good, then entire hard work goes waste. Therefore, you have to spend good quality time at this stage. Two things matter at this. One is the quality content. Another is a presentation, because it's an age of marketing. Presentation should be good and quality-wise it should be good. If you give me the discretion, I would say 90% your time should be spent on the content and only 10% on the presentation. But unfortunately, your generation spends more time on the presentation, less time on the content. That's why we suffer on basis of quality. See, how we can improve content quality of a thesis of the research work? Writing and drafts. If you write n drafts, only then the quality will come. And mind you, I mean, if you read your first draft, you can laugh over half an hour that I wrote this trash in the beginning, but now it's a final product. You know? See, on the lighter side, Professor Gupta, I compare paper writing or thesis writing with love letter writing. You know? I mean, when you start writing a love letter, your objective is to convince your counterpart. You know? You write so good. Rajesh Khanna writing love letter, starting 11 p.m. cigarette and then putting here cigarette. First sentence is very difficult. The entire floor is full of half-written love letter, and finally at 4 o'clock in the morning he may be succeeding. Same is the thesis. Don't get disappointed at this stage. Your target is to convince your examiner, like a love letter. You should write so good that he may say degree may be granted. It comes after repeated drafts, but unfortunately, this generation knows that patience matters, and patience is a problem with new generation. Therefore, if you are interested in research, patience should be the golden principle so far research is concerned. Now, friends, let me take more 5 minutes and conclude. With a view to improve quality, it is essential to complete each process scientifically. It's not only that each step is to be completed scientifically, developing linkages among various parts of research. If you're writing, for example, objective, then hypothesis should flow from your objectives. If you're preparing a questionnaire, your questionnaire should flow from your hypothesis. That all components are linked with, organically linked with each other, not in isolation. Problems like theory, objective, literature, hypothesis, all should be linked with each other. If you are linking with each other, I think you are doing a good quality research. I have given some example because of paucity of time. I am skipping over that. If you are writing objective and literature backward and forward linkages, similarly if you are writing hypothesis, it should be linked with both objectives as well as research methodology. What are the guiding principles? Now let us pay some attention here that there are thus the guiding principle for improving quality of research is conducting each step, 9 step, conducting each step of research by adopting scientific approach methodology. No qualitative judgment. Your liking, disliking don't matter here. Second, developing linkages among various stages of research. All should be organically linked. End result will be a piece of research internally consistent and high quality in terms of findings. Now, 2 minutes. That research methodology is changing both theoretically as well as applied. Theoretically, we are students of what is known as logical positivism. Logical positivism is a term which we borrowed from science and other disciplines. That logical positivism says that reality already exists, and the role of a researcher is to approach that reality objectively. Newton's 3 law. Newton did not find the law for the first time. It was happening already, but he observed it and then made 3 laws. Similarly, reality is already in the field. You have to approach it objectively, and there are 5 human senses through which you can understand reality. Nose, ear, touch, then taste, then here there are 5 human senses through which you can consider. But we in the social sciences and including in management are of the opinion that human behavior cannot be understood through quantitative methods. It is so complex that you can't understand from science and technology what's human behavior. Marketing is an example that how do you shop? You can't put it simultaneous equation. You can't understand with mathematical computation, and you are losing your temper. Science can't explain it. It's your behavioral problem. Therefore, organizational behavior is a full paper in management. Therefore, if we are trying, see, there's a movie. Albert Pinto को गुस्सा क्यों आता है? You can't rationalize, you can't scientifically explain it. You see a person, your mood gets changed, and he didn't do any harm to you. कित्थों मथे लग गया? This immediately you speak about it. See, कित्थे मथे लग गया? बिल्ली ने रास्ता काट दिया, तो see you change your track. See, how would you explain? Science can't explain it, technology, but it's human behavior. See, biggest project world God particle te chal raha hai. That's the biggest project. Whether God exists or not, scientists are undertaking this. God exists because it's our faith. But scientists say that I have to verify whether God exists or not. Therefore, both social sciences and science disciplines are undertaking biggest project across the globe. This is the way you have to understand research. That research is not purely quantification. It's a beyond quantification. You have to understand human behavior. You can understand human behavior by mixing methods, which I call it triangulation. By mixing methods, that you mix quantitative, you mix qualitative, and hence you can understand human behavior. I think now I should conclude. Am I right? Okay, I am concluding. Research is gaining momentum in institution of higher learning. This workshop is a confirmation of that. Endeavor of a researcher should be to avoid repetitive work, cut paste, no place now, because there are lot many softwares available. You would be in trouble. Even if you get a degree, your degree can be withdrawn if it's proved that it was a repetitive work. And stereotype research and undertake only socially relevant research. See, you have a different, you're 21st century researcher. Our age is over, our phase is over, but you're a 21st century researcher. Only relevant research be valued, otherwise your research will be thrown like a disposable type research. Don't undertake disposable research, undertake research which stays forever. Quality of research also, be a passion with the researcher. Research करनी है तो शौक नाल करनी है, पसंदीदा करनी है, मन पसंदीदा करनी है. 3 Idiots is an example. Undertake only that research which gives you the satisfaction. Don't go far. If I suggest, reject that suggestion. Undertake only that research which convinces you, which gives you satisfaction, which is relevant to the market, because I may be giving you a research problem which is outdated, because my thought is outdated, but you have to stay in the profession for 40 years. You have to see your future. And here comes the role of a scientific research methodology. The researcher should undertake each step of research scientifically, and he should also develop proper linkages among various parts of a research process. Research methodology is dynamic field. With a view to research new frontiers of knowledge, the field of research methodology is witnessing phenomenal changes. There are independent departments of research methodology in number of universities. Independent department like management, like engineering, and so on and so forth. Researcher should regularly update herself knowledge about the development in the field of research methodology. I mean, growing exponentially. ਅੱਖ ਝਮਕਣ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ knowledge change ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ. When your knowledge is changing at the speed of a thought, then to keep pace with it, research methodology plays an important role. And I think you all deserve thanks. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a knowledgeable session and very well explaining about research and its related concept. We have surely learned a lot from this session. Now, I would...
If any student or teacher, they have any clarification, they can have any clarifications or more details if they want to ask. I think they can explain much better. Just like that. And any questions? Any student or any such scholar, we want to get any idea.
I just want to say regarding the hypothesis.
Yeah.
We actually were speaking about some hypothesis, the tentative result. Am I right? Definitely, sir. I am from literature as well.
Before going in,
Yes, sir.
you have an idea. इस एक्सप्रेशन ये लिखा होगा, दसवीं का मतलब ये है.
Yes.
Everything what you का मतलब ये है. हमें तो just an idea.
Fine, fine.
But your confirmation will be subject to undertaking. Idea should have an idea. But it's a tentative. Confirmation, validation, either accepted or rejected into meeting of hypothesis.
Fine. Tentative idea.
Tentative. जब आपने कानपुर जाना, आपको लगता है कानपुर ऐसा सिटी है. वहाँ पे जाके पता लगेगा कि कानपुर ऐसा नहीं ऐसा है. तो आपका hypothesis
So, next.
Any other faculty member who want to get any clarification or any doubts? Any teacher? No? Geeta को लग रहा है कुछ क्वेश्चन है मैडम, मुझे लगता है कुछ.
So could you please take the concept of positivism?
logical positivism is a foundation for philosophical foundation for research. Logical positivism we have borrowed from science and technology disciplines. Earlier there was no distinction between social sciences methodology and science research methodology. Society was part of nature. The laws which are governing nature were also supposed to govern the society. Therefore, the same methodology we adopted, which is being undertaken by science disciplines. But when that methodology was applied to social sciences, then there were some transmission losses, understanding social reality, because social reality cannot be understood through objectivity. It's a different sort of. Let me give you an example. It's a question of interpretation. Half glass full, half glass empty. Whether you call it full or empty depends on your perception.
50%, your mood is off. No loss, no value, 50% has done. All the villain can. I mean, this is a common passage, he has to use that passage. But the closeness to you has disturbed you. How mathematics can help us, how science can help us, scientists are unable to explain. Therefore, we are dealing with human behavior. For example, there's election. Excellent example. There's election. And you're promising every candidate you vote for. But finally, you will vote for one. Everybody is winning before election, and finally only one person wins because your behavior is complex. There's no thermometer, there's no inch tape, there's no weighing machine to understand your behavior. When there's no inch tape, thermometer, or whatever I did prefer to make, then see, scientist has not many instruments to examine the natural phenomena, depth dipping and park in temperature, but we social scientists have no idea. Literature is an example. Literature is beyond us. Therefore, what I am suggesting that logical positivism is a foundation of knowledge derived in social sciences from natural sciences, but it does not live fully because we are dealing with human behavior. Therefore, we have to go for qualitative research methodology and combination of both, which I call triangulation, mixing of methods, mixing of approaches. And that you started from last, that we made last observation. You started from Mumbai and you want to go to Lahore. You may come to Chandigarh by air, from Chandigarh then by road, and from road you may go on cycle, from cycle you may go on foot. Therefore, compared to Lahore, you have adopted 4 modes of transport, but your destination is reaching Lahore. Similarly, the destination of researcher is to understand reality. Maybe this approach, and finally reaching reality. Therefore, mixing of approaches should be a cup of tea of the present researcher. This is the way I can answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, participants and faculty members. Now, I would request Dr. Sangeeta, Assistant Professor, PCJ School of Management, to extend vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good morning to everyone. On behalf of Maharaja Agrasen University, I extend a vote of thanks to our chief guest, Professor B.S. Ghumman, who spared time from his busy schedule to grace the occasion. Today, we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely be going to encourage us in future events. Thank you so much, sir. I also like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor R.K. Gupta, Dr. A.K. Bashish, Dean Research, Professor Dharamveer, Dr. Pankaj Nagalia, Director from various schools, faculty members, participants. Thank you very much. At last, I would also like to thank our organizing team for making this inauguration function a successful one. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Next session will be continuing here only. Now, I request all of you to stand up for national anthem. organizing team to come forward for a group photograph.
तो करने वाला कहाँ है तिलक है?